An entrepreneur is a person who recognizes an opportunity, organizes and manages a business, and assumes risk for the sake of potential return. Three things stand out in that definition. First, recognizes an opportunity. Entrepreneurs do not wait for opportunities to arrive. They actively scan the world for gaps, problems, and unmet needs. Second, organizes and manages a business. An idea alone is worthless. Entrepreneurs build systems, teams, and processes to deliver that idea to the world. Third, assumes risk. There are no guarantees in entrepreneurship. Failure is always possible, and entrepreneurs accept that reality. Now, within entrepreneurship, there are two fundamentally different types. Necessity-based entrepreneurs enter self-employment because their circumstances leave them few other options. Perhaps they lost a job, or conventional employment is simply not available to them. Opportunity-based entrepreneurs, on the other hand, choose to launch a business because they see a specific, attractive opening in the market. They are not pushed in, they leap in. Think about Tom Saki, the founder of TerraCycle. He did not need to start a business. He saw that the world was drowning in hard-to-recycle waste and built a company to solve it. That is opportunity-based entrepreneurship, driven by vision, not necessity. Entrepreneurs do not operate in a vacuum. They operate within an economic system. In the United States, that system is the free enterprise system, which is also called capitalism. Here is how it works. Businesses are privately owned. They compete with one another for customers and resources. Prices are determined not by a central authority, but by free market forces, supply and demand. And all transactions are based on voluntary exchange, meaning both the buyer and the seller agree to the trade. Nobody forces you to buy anything. Nobody forces a business to sell at a price it does not want. Capital, the cash or goods invested to generate income, flows through this system. And entrepreneurs are the people who put that capital into motion. By creating new businesses, new products, and new jobs, entrepreneurs generate what economists call economic creativity. They drive innovation, raise the standard of living, and create value for society, not just for themselves. This is why entrepreneurship is so often called the engine of the economy. It does not merely participate in the economy, it actively pushes it forward. Before we go further, let us clarify what we mean by a small business, because the definition may surprise you. The U.S. Small Business Administration defines a small business as one with fewer than 500 employees and less than $5 million in annual sales. That is a remarkably broad definition. It covers a freelance graphic designer working from a home office, a family-owned restaurant, a regional manufacturing firm, and everything in between. Here is something worth internalizing. The core principles of running a business are the same at every scale. Whether you are managing Microsoft or a corner bakery, you still need to understand your customers, control your costs, price your products competitively, and communicate your value. Scale changes everything about the logistics. It changes nothing about the fundamentals. That is the great equalizer in entrepreneurship. You do not need billions of dollars to think like a business owner. Before you decide that entrepreneurship is the right path for you, it is essential to weigh both the costs and the benefits, honestly. The benefits are real and compelling. Independence. You set your own schedule and answer to yourself. Financial reward. Your earnings are not capped by a salary. Creative fulfillment. You build something from nothing. Control over your working conditions. And the deep satisfaction of contributing to your community and creating jobs. But the costs are equally real. Financial insecurity, especially in the early years, is significant. Entrepreneurship often means long hours, far more than a traditional job. The decision-making can be lonely. The final responsibility rests with you alone. Personal relationships can be strained by the demands of running a business, and business failure is always a possibility. The key analytical tool here is cost-benefit analysis, weighing everything you will invest in time, money, and energy against everything you stand to gain in wealth, experience, knowledge, and personal growth. Here is the bottom line. Entrepreneurs tolerate more risk and uncertainty than most people, but that higher risk comes with the potential for much higher rewards. Only you can decide whether that trade-off fits your personality, your goals, and your life. Entrepreneurship comes in many forms, and it is important to know your options. Social entrepreneurship focuses on achieving both profitability and positive social returns. making money while making a difference. Green entrepreneurship builds businesses that actively protect or avoid harm to the environment. Lifestyle businesses are designed to support the life the owner wants to live, not to grow as large as possible. And then there are unicorns, startups valued at over $1 billion, which represent the high-growth, venture-backed frontier of entrepreneurship. There is also intrapreneurship, entrepreneurial thinking and behavior inside an existing corporation. Even if you never start your own company, your entrepreneurial mindset is enormously valuable inside a large organization. How do entrepreneurs actually find opportunities? According to the economist Joseph Schumpeter, there are 5 fundamental ways: using a new technology to produce a new product, applying an existing technology to create something new, using existing technology in a completely new way, discovering a new source of resources, or developing an entirely new market for an existing product. And one of the most practical tools for evaluating any opportunity is the SWOT analysis. SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. It gives you a structured framework for thinking through whether an idea is worth pursuing before you commit real resources to it. Let me summarize what we covered today. An entrepreneur is someone who recognizes an opportunity, builds a business around it, and accepts the risk that comes with that choice. Entrepreneurship drives the free enterprise economy forward by creating value, jobs, and innovation. Small businesses, defined as having fewer than 500 employees, are the backbone of this system. The decision to become an entrepreneur involves real costs and real benefits that must be weighed honestly, and opportunities are found in 5 fundamental ways, from new technologies to entirely new markets. Please complete your Chapter 1 assignment in Canvas before moving on. In the next video, we explore the practical tools for turning a business idea into a plan, feasibility analysis, the lean startup methodology, the business model canvas, and the business plan itself. I will see you in Chapter 2.